The Eagles started the 2025 season on fire, winning 5 of their first 6 games. However, their form has wavered as the year has progressed, and this afternoon they commenced their finals campaign against another side in the Packers that is also searching for some form, but most importantly, the elimination final win. Live and free from the Long Plains Recreation Ground, it's the third place Hummocks Watchman Eagles battling the fourth place Balaklava Packers for a spot in the preliminary final in 2 weeks' time. My name's Lewis McKenna. I'm joined by a man in the know when it comes to all things Balaklava. It's the reserves captain, Les Pearson. Les, how you going, mate?
Yeah, no, terrific, Louis. Man in the know, all things APFL in general. Thanks very much.
You sold you short.
Even wider South Australian sport, and yeah, we're real encyclopedia when it comes to the knowledge of these things.
Oh, that's good, mate. We're excited for that. We've got Dino on the camera as always well, doing a fantastic job showing you all the shots of what is a beautiful ground here as well. Of course, just a brilliant spectacle. The weather's kind of held off as well. We've had some torrid weather throughout the week here in South Australia, but ground's looking absolutely perfect. And as I just mentioned, Les, that these two sides desperately, well, obviously it goes without saying, seeking a win in this one, because if they lose in this one, it's season over. But both teams coming into this one with form leaving a bit to be desired.
Yeah, good call. The Eagles actually had a pretty an easier draw in the latter half of those last 4 games. So, they really had an opportunity to sharpen up. Disappointing last week, surprising loss against Hamley Bridge, bottom of the table. They would have liked to have been building form going into it. I heard on the grapevine that they'd rested some players, but since I've heard to the contrary just barely a couple of minutes ago from the inside knowledge. So they'll be looking to bounce back from that. It can knock your confidence going into an elimination final, losing to the bottom side. But Hamley have been more than competitive in a number of contests this season. So you probably shouldn't take them for granted. And Balaklava, absolutely been challenged against Two Wells and Malala, being competitive, but outclassed ultimately. So they really need to find another gear, and no better time to do it than today.
Absolutely, we've just seen the toss as well. So Hummocks Watchman, the honorary home side today, finishing third spot, will be heading to the left-hand side of your screen towards the silo end of the ground. And, of course, Balaklava to the right. Well, Balaklava losing their last 2 games last week to Two Wells by 53 points. Really, at this point, Two Wells not lost a game all year is to be quite expected. That every team has lost to Two Wells. 53 points is probably around Two Wells' average margin as well this season. Hamley Bridge got the win last week over Hummocks Watchman by 20 points in that one. So I mentioned right off the top, Les, that when we look at the way that Hummocks Watchman started the season, win, 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 loss, win, win, win. So they started incredibly well. These two sides are actually competing for that second spot probably up until halfway through the season when Malala really turned it on and brought it home. And they're still not out of it though. They get... finals is a different kind of pressure cooker environment. If they keep their composure and they win today, they take on the loser, of course, next week's game at Hamley Bridge Oval between Two Wells and Malala, then, who knows? Finals is a funny thing. Footy's a funny thing. They can make their way through to a grand final on September 20th at Malala. Yeah,
filming footage shot the last game these two played against each other at Lochiel on a big reunion day, a 30th anniversary day for Hummocks, and they're a side that can score heavily in patches, and they just absolutely blew the Packers away in that second and third term, and there was no coming back from that. Admittedly, the Packers kicked poorly in that first half, but certainly the Hummocks' ability to score in bulk and really build on momentum is crucial, and coming into finals, momentum can be a vital contributing factor in that. Josh Studham, a big omission today. He was a dangerous forward for them again in their last fixture at Lochiel, and can be a real game breaker. I'm not sure what the issue is there, but we wish him well because he is a real X-factor type player. They'll miss him. I think they're probably down to those 2 key targets in forward with is it Wright and Kovacic?
Yeah, absolutely. Cody Duncan as well should be mentioned. 42 goals on the season, finishing third in the goal kicking. You mentioned last time these two teams met. They've met twice throughout the season. Round 4, it was Balaklava getting a 10-point victory, 12-9-81 to 10-11-71. And then, as you mentioned there, Les, it was the script was flipped there in round 11, 16-9-105 to 8-15-63. So teams are ready to go here in the middle. Must be mentioned, you talk about targets up forward. Shane Moss up forward for Balaklava. Only played in 4 games in 2025. I was having a look through some of his numbers in previous seasons. Of course, admittedly, I'm fairly new to the APFL. 208 goals between the 2018 and 19 seasons. Just a well-known goal scorer. He's actually already kicked 12 goals in just 4 games this season. So he'll be one to watch, of course, as this game goes on. But we're ready to go in the middle. The semi-final, the first semi-final for the Adelaide Plains Footy League. It's Hummocks Watchman taking on the Peckers, and straight away not going anywhere in the middle. So do you have any intel for me there on Shane Moss? He was, of course, out. I think he played, just those 4 games. Didn't play much of the year.
Yeah, dislocated shoulder or I think broken collarbone actually.
There you go, that'll do it.
Early in the season,
Yep.
And then came back and injured his groin in a return match. So this is he had a week off last week and he's back inside today.
So they go inside forward, and a slinging tackle there, but umpire was quickly onto it. No free kick paid. So deep entry inside forward 50 here for Hummocks, as the ruckman will go at it. Gets thumped forward by O'Leary Fletcher, but didn't quite go far. So they'll ball it up only a few metres away, and looks as if there may have been a blood rule here early on. Yeah, you can see there that coming out of his mouth. So through
Tom Michael might be. Now you mentioned this is the silo end. The silos don't exist anymore, I reckon. I think they've been deconstructed. It's I have to rename it Water Tower End or something like that.
Water Tower End, we'll go with that.
That's the way the wind has favoured that's the way the end the wind has favoured most of the afternoon. It's been a 2-3 goal breeze in fairness. It doesn't look like much on your screens at home, but certainly favouring that end, and it'd be an advantage for the Eagles early on.
Absolutely. So once again, a stoppage inside forward 50. Warner comes over the top and knocks it down in front for the Peckers, trying to get the handball out now, clearing out a defensive 50. A kick over the top, but getting punched over the line by the captain there, James Daly, for Hummocks.
Fearsome-looking character, isn't he?
Absolutely is. One of the best mullets going around in the league, no doubt about it.
Big bushy moustache as well. He looks aggressive.
We like a good moustache as well. So, gets under the contest. Good tackle, snapping around the body, and onto centre wing, neutral territory here. Who can be cleaner with the ball? Nearly got his head taken off there. Moves it out through hands to Yelland. Pops it onto the boot inside forward 50. So now moving it across. And Miller taking the mark. So one of the leading goal scorers, in fact the leading goal scorer for Balaklava this season, goes long down the line over the top. Couldn't quite take the mark there in the end. Crashing through once again was Daly. Getting a little hack kick out, Will Dixon, but couldn't quite get any purchase on it. So Yelland goes back inside forward 50, over the head of Duncan, and good defensive mark taken as Balaklava looked to chip it across. So Battle just composes himself, and on the left boot goes longer to the outer side. Michael was looking through some of his numbers this season, just been an incredible player. Just such a stalwart for this Balaklava side, but a turnover to the outer side.
Saw that ball hold up in the wind there.
So, smothered. Good smother there down low. Crunch straight through. He was crashing through, was Cody Redpath for Hummocks, and it's going to be a stoppage here right in front of the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was Jack Tiller on the mark. Those 1%ers can be big in finals, and vital ground to hold up early in this first term.
Absolutely it is. So, knocking it down in front. Battle turns around onto his favoured foot. Going towards forward 50, but defensive mark taken. So the first inside 50 for Balaklava. And chipping ball out to Yelland, who's already had a bit of it to start this one.
2 early inside 50s too. That's where you want your players coming from that back line and really setting it deep inside forward 50.
Named in the best players 7 times this season as he goes long at the outer edge of the centre square. Out the back of the contest here, Burns going inside forward 50. One-on-one contest here down in front, and the Peckers now come to help out. Chipping ball and marked there by Miller. So long down the line, 2-on-2 here. Goes out the back, big fist. Yelland coming over the top once again. Battle gets the handball out, couldn't quite get into the lap of his teammate. Trying to rip his way through a tackle there was Jaden Jude, and he was quickly wrapped up.
So you mentioned Miller before. He's been the rebound man so far this quarter. He'll be a bit of a swingman type character. Swing back from into defence with probably when Hummocks kicking with the wind, then sneaking forward when Balaklava kicking with it.
Absolutely, 28 goals this season has been really impressive up forward, but get yourself someone that can do it all. So, Ruckman to go at it once again. Out the back, Michael trying to pick it up and saw Dixon there, tried to get it to him, but he was corralled well. So Josh Harkness in the ruck here for Hummocks will go up against Bo Warner. Gets knocked down and the captain will now work onto it. Daly couldn't quite get clean possession. Fighting against Dixon. Ruiz gets the handball out but couldn't quite get it there again. And here's Yelland, an early contender for the Archie Thongs, going to the best player of the afternoon. But sitting in the hole is Michael taking a good mark.
Yeah. It's twice Yelland's blazed deep inside 50 and turned it over directly. He's got to lower the eyes and try and pick out some targets in front of him.
Had plenty of the ball, but a turnover there. So a chance here to go inside forward 50. A meaningful entry here for the Packers. Lands in front of the pack, spills out. Ruiz nearly got his head taken off. Umpire was circling.
Terrific intensity early on. The tackling from both sides has been fantastic.
Absolutely, it has. We've seen 3 games here prior to this one. Of course, we'll have all the games live on Grand Final Day at Mallala Oval. Just quickly, it was United in the under-14s winning by 11 points over Balaklava, sorry, that's right. Under-17s, it was Virginia winning 54-42 over Mallala. As Daly is tackled to the ground, that should be another stoppage about 40 metres out from Balaklava's goal. And just in the reserves there, we saw Anglevale, who only just scraped into the finals picture, actually had to rely on some other results last week to get in. They got a decent victory in the end. It was a tight contest for much of it, 12-9-81 to Hamley 8-7-55.
Free kick been instructed here going to battle. I didn't see what it was for, but just at the stoppage there, the umpire's found one and he was going to line up.
It's that forward 50 pressure if you can get stoppage after stoppage and eventually give yourself an opportunity, as we do have a little bit of a 20-second delayed replay here in front of us too, so maybe just holding on prior to getting the ball, it looked like. But he'll have a chance to line one up. He's pretty well straight in front. He does have that little bit of a breeze to kick into, but should have the distance covered no problem at all. He's kicked 5 goals in the season, leaves it short. So they do move it by hand here, Hummocks. Wasted opportunity there for the Packers, and they cleared defensive 50. Long ball up the wing. Runner has to get out the way. And there's been a free kick paid here, so...
It was a great contest by both players there.
Hocking gets the free. Tried to go lateral originally, but decides to pop this one high and long inside forward 50. It's a 2-on-1 here favouring the Packers, and they're able to take the defensive mark. They move it to the outer side, but it wasn't quite the kick that Battle was looking for, and his signal's right there. He wasn't happy with it. So they chip it across. Yelland. It was got the ball on a string at the moment.
That's much better. That's much better. That is what we're talking about. Lowering your vision and picking something out around that 40-metre amount. Like the inside 50 before, again, deep to a 2-on-1. And so if the Eagles can make more use of their inside 50s, they'll get a lot more scoring opportunities. Absolutely.
So this is the real tricky position on the ground where the number is often shielded to us and we can't quite see who's taking the kick, but it's not quite going to carry, is it? I think he has actually put it through. So through for the first goal of the game. We'll try and see if he can spin around for us and try and show us his number at some point, but it is the first goal of this one going the way of Hummocks Watchman. And it was a brilliant kick as well from the boundary. And that is one stubborn player who doesn't want to turn around and show me his number. But it was a goal nonetheless.
He's walking back to the midfield, so you've got the binoculars.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look. But
is it Burns? I can't see his number either. My eyesight's awful.
I believe it could actually be Tate Noddle, number 12.
That's not Tate Noddle.
Oh, I'm trying to...
He's skinnier than that.
We're looking at the left-hand side of the centre circle.
Is it? He's got a haircut.
So, knocked it down in front.
He is now. Yeah, now I've seen him. Here he goes, around the back.
There we go. So,
it was a finish of his class. He is a very classy player.
Absolutely it is. So we are marking it down to him as they move it through. Brandon Verd, inside forward 50, gets intercepted. So the Packers will now go long down the line.
Zavril.
Absolutely, and a good mark there. Taken by Ruiz. Battle. Didn't quite connect with that one well.
It's 2 or 3 that he's mishit.
And he was also barking at his teammates for not kicking it properly also before. But that'll happen.
It's always the way.
That's it. So there's been a stoppage here. In fact, a free kick paid. So In fact, the umpire did point that way, but anyway, all right. Confusing everyone here. So stoppage on the outer side, and there has been a whistle blown this time. Free kick going to Hummocks in the ruck. So Josh Harkness, the vice-captain.
He's got long sleeves on that.
Absolutely. Long inside forward 50. Looking for the climbers over the back. I think Duncan was sitting underneath that one. They eventually get the handball out, though, the Peckers. Looking to move it. Little chipping ball over the top from Miller, and it's a good mark sitting in the hole by Dixon. Had him closing, and that'll be 25 metres.
Just didn't quite get there in time. It looked pretty soft in the, if you look at that on the replay, I don't think it was a whole lot in it, but just marginally late.
Will Dixon goes long. Wasn't quite a kick quite to the advantage of his players. Batty goes crashing through. Ball still in dispute. Ruiz is underneath this one. Tries to get the handball out the back, but he's quickly set upon.
He's been at the bottom of a lot of those packs so far, Ruiz. A few players not quite keeping their feet or getting used to kicking into this breeze. A lot of footies dropping short, not hitting their targets.
So Warner over the top, knocks it down in front. Yellen sitting underneath this one. Couldn't quite rip the ball out. Ruiz once again standing up in the tackle. So about 60 from home here for Balaklava. Both teams crashing in. I think both coaches will be happy with the way their teams have started, even though Balaklava haven't quite got the score on the board yet. It hasn't gone too far. So, beautiful day here, it must be said. The clouds were around a little bit a couple hours ago, but they've really cleared for the A-grade game. There's a bit of push and shove behind the contest as well, right around the ball. Miller snapping around his body. Ruiz in a one-on-one here. Did well there, Bailey James Fraser for Hummocks as they get the ball back. They go long down the line, but Balaklava have the numbers. They just need to compose themselves. Miller with a tackle, and here on centre wing, they'll ball it up right in front of the commentary box. Bit of feeling in this one, Les.
Yeah, well, local rivals. The teams are not far apart on the geographically and on the ladder. So, a bit of heat in this.
Absolutely, it is. Winner goes through a couple weeks' time. And big preliminary final match against the loser of next week's game. And, of course, the loser, well, that's season over. And given how both these teams started the season, they'll be incredibly disappointed with that as a handball inside of Daly. So crashing his way back through the contest. And that's a good handball. And in front of his teammate who couldn't quite keep his feet, Brody Hocking. Now close to the boundary. Trying to crash his way back through. Took on the tackler.
Yeah, let's watch this stoppage and see if Burns goes to Michael off the back of the stoppage and Rich Daniels trying to get to him to stop the tag. So you see how he's...
pulling on the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
It was a good pickup there from you, Les. A sling. Under you try and get under his skin early. They go long down the line. Hendry with a handball over the top. Ruiz. Now they need to get to work. Johns couldn't quite control it. So snapping around the body and towards forward 50. Couldn't quite take the mark. Brody Hocking. It would have been a pretty excellent one. Michael has someone closing. Just got his boot on it. He did have players telling him to get a move on.
Look, didn't he? It wasn't like there was no one telling him it was hot. But great pressure from Hummocks.
So through the middle of the ground, Hocking couldn't quite get that ball up enough, spinning his way through and quickly getting wrapped up in a tackle there. Out of defensive 50, that was Tom Michael. So got his head strapped up early in this one.
It's not looking pretty easy. It's right across the beat, right across the mush, that wrapping.
That's what finals footy is all about, as Light gets the handball out. They knock it along and they've got a chance to get back inside forward 50, but just through the hands of Bates. So now they've got a chance. Noddle gets the handball out. Bates just stops, props and works his way through the tackle. Finds himself a bit of space and just couldn't quite find a leading forward. Tried a little bit too much really there in the end.
Yeah, terrific, pressure from Johns coming across to help out. And he got the crucial hand on him, and now he gets the ball on the rebound.
So, back flank here for the Peckers. Tries to bite off an interesting kick, trying to look for Warner, nearly got intercepted. And it's going to be held up once again. Arthur couldn't break his way through. The pressure rating for both these sides would be absolutely through the roof. I mean, we're not Fox Footy here, so we don't have any way of calculating it, but that's it. And who knows how that's actually worked out anyway. But it would be high. As Tackles laid there by Bailey James Fraser.
See, another short chipping ball that's dropped short into this breeze. Like it doesn't seem like much, but at ground level, it must be a whole lot more. The players are really struggling to adjust with their skills.
Yeah, it's a beautiful commentary position here at Long Plains, the United Football Club. The host here is a huge don't argue from Dixon. Handballs it off to Michael. There's a bit of push and shove here behind the play as well. Oh, and Yellen got his head ripped off. Umpire's letting it go though. They move it out through hand.
This is a blazing ball. They've done it 4 or 5 times now this quarter. They've had a lot of inside 50s or opportunities go inside 50, just over-kicking it.
So they'll chip off a 35-metre ball over the top, the Peckers, through the hands of Bates and over the boundary line here, right in front of the club rooms.
So this is what you want if you're working into the breeze. You just want repeat stoppages, just take time off the clock, reduce the scoring.
So Ruckman tangling, and there was a free hot. There's a bit more push and shove here as well. Players going at it here. Tom Michael in the thick of it once again. He's already been bloodied up once, going up against Josh Harkness, the vice-captain.
So Josh Harkness, former Balaklava junior player, has played a lot of A-grade footy with Balaklava as well.
And Michael hacks a ball inside the corridor. Dixon fighting for it underneath, trying to get it out. He's jumped on by a couple Eagles. And he's circling, saying he's trapped it in. A little stiff there, I reckon, for Will Dixon, but
I don't mind if they play it all day like that. If that's what the way they're going to umpire it, I like the decision.
A lot to do for Cooper Retschke on the outside. There, he's only his first A-grade game since round 4 for Hummocks, so has to get to the speed of the game pretty quickly. Got caught up there, so they chip it to the outer side. Battle got smothered by Retschke, so did well. They'll move it back through hand. Battle will chip the ball across and Farland.
Yeah, get some confidence up with a few hit targets. That's nice. Retschke, you mentioned him before. Just back in, he's been in part of the underrated.
Balaklava Peckers.
A bit of youth, bit of speed, bit of energy. He's certainly providing that.
Well, he's a Woodville West Torrens under 18 as well. So, so down in front, and they're breaking out of the contest here.
Hummocks are wasting opportunities here in the first quarter.
So they go a little further here, Balaklava, long down the line. Tough contest here, 2-on-2, gets knocked down in front and quickly set upon and tackled.
It's Olsen over there, he's been taken high and got the free kick.
They look to move it quickly. Batty breaks his way back through, handballs it over to Michael. Trying to break his way through the contest, eventually gets it out, and he was fairly quick with the whistle there, and they've paid 25 for kicking the ball away. Is a bit more push and shove. He's amongst it once again, Tom Michael. So
yeah, probably premature on the whistle, but I don't mind that either. It was one of those 50-50 ones. He tried to break that first initial tackle, held up well. That's better.
And back inside forward 50, it was a brilliant kick, and into the lap of the leading goal scorer for the competition, Jamie Kovacic. He's 52 goals in the season. He has kicked a goal in every single game this year. In fact, I think since about round 5, he's kicked multiple goals in every single game. So 52 for the season. This one from a tricky angle, but pops it on its way. And he's pretty happy with his kick, but I think it's just faded out through for a minor score.
The Peggers will be disappointed with that, leaving the leading lanes open on a slow play inside 50, but terrific kick. I think it was young Redpath who put it inside 50 onto Kovacic's chest.
So they go long down the outer side. Chipping ball over the top. One-on-one contest here out the back, and has to get to work. Did well there. Just bent the back, Quinn McKay, through the middle of the ground, but gets smothered. So Hendry hunting hard inside forward 50. They have to compose themselves here, Hummocks, to retreat, and they do well to go out of defensive 50, but Michael's there, handballs it back, and they have to quickly move in. Good smother. They now move it out once again. McKay handballs it off. Once again, Yelland gets the boot out of defensive 50. 50-50 ball here right in front of the scoreboard. And Noddle's underneath that one, close to the boundary line, going to be ball back up.
Yeah, the Hummocks boys coughed that up on the rebound, but Michael intercepted, sent it back inside 50, but their work rate to get back and create pressure on Olsen there. 4-on-1, and they won the ball back.
So gets knocked down by Warner. He has to go and try and hunt and tackle, and he's worked hard there. Nearly gets hunted down. Once again, Yelland. But back inside forward 50 here for the Peckers. Ball back in dispute. Dixon's underneath this one. But they do well, Hummocks Watchman, just to retreat and chip the ball out. So taking the mark here, Kovacic working his way up the ground. And good kick up to his other leading forward in Duncan. But the problem is, that means that both of them are outside of the forward 50. So
number at the back here, he's seen him. He's going to try and get it over the back of the pack.
But they do well to close to Balaklava. Ball back in dispute. Michael did well. It's Tom Michael to move it out through hand. Olsen, yeah, dangerous ball it was, you're right. But there has been a free kick here paid, so they get a free entry out of defensive 50, moving it out through hand. Guy, and a good ball up to Ruiz, the vice-captain. So they just stop and compose themselves here.
Very well set up behind the ball. You see where Harkness is set up inside 50, about that 35, 40 metres out. That is great defence.
So they have to try and cut off the boundary. It does stay in before nearly trickling over. Michael out the back, pops one on his boot to the leading forward. So he Welcome back to Long Plains Recreation Ground here for the first semi-final of the Adelaide Plains Footy League, and it's the Hummocks Watchman Eagles taking on the Balaklava Peckers. It was a tough contest in the first quarter, as you can see on the scoreboard, 128 to 0-1-1. It was really both teams cracking into the contest. My name's Lewis McKenna, joined by Les Pearson, who's the reserves captain for Balaklava. And what did you make of the first quarter, mate?
Yeah, wasted opportunities from Hummocks. They had bulk of the control, bulk of the inside 50s, just a bit wasteful with their decision making in the way they moved the ball inside 50 around the contest, relatively even. Loving the tagging work from Burns on Michael. Yep. And a bit of byplay there, but ultra physical and a great start to the game.
Absolutely, been way more scraps and scuffles than there has been scoring. You expect that in a final. So quickly out of the middle here, they look to get to work to the Eagles. Couldn't quite get any meaningful possession out the back, and handball over the top. Dixon has to fight for it. Is trundling inside, got hacked off the boot. Good tackle there late. Well done by James Batty. And one of the better players for Balaklava this year, named in the best 7 times and 13 goals as well. So give you about a goal a game. It's knocked down, trying to rip his way through the contest once again is Batty. So forward 50 stoppages here for Balaklava, trying to convert on their first goal of the afternoon. They nearly got it late in the first quarter. It gets hacked out to the paint of 50. Warner the ruckman going at it, trying to get it out. Handball back out and handball over the top as they get a meaningful entry now inside forward 50, or at least they should have, but gets trundled off the side of the boot, out of bounds, last touch.
Jacob Battle kept it caught on his right foot there and straight off the side, but I don't blame him for that. Also a left footer and would never kick it on my right.
No, I'm a left footer as well, and well, I don't even play footy anymore, but I couldn't do anything on my right foot. So Daly over the top.
Terrific kick, yeah.
He's a brilliant player, James Daly. They move it quickly. Trying to break through a couple tackles and did well, but had to retreat back through Daly. Go over the top and centre wing now. Pack form, sitting underneath it and hanging on to the grab. It was Puker. Look to move it quickly by hand and back inside forward 50. Looking for the leap and getting it from Duncan. In fact, actually, that wasn't Duncan. That was Kovacic once again going towards goal, but fading it across through for a minor score.
Yeah, we saw from the back flank there, I think it was Cody Redpath taking off multiple times for an overlap handball and really trying to run and carry that ball into the breeze. Hit the target beautifully inside 52, so he's one they're going to have to watch off that back flank for Hummocks.
So Sportal scoreboard 139 for Hummocks, just the solitary behind for Balaklava. We thank all of our sponsors as well, of course, bringing this stream to you. Dartfish, Sportal, of course, the scoreboard. Classic Clashes, filming footy and Archies, a pair of Archie thongs to the best player on ground, judged by the commentators as well. Might get your opinions before the end of the first half. Who you think's leading the way as Balaklava go long down the wing towards the pack out the back of the contest, and little chipping ball over the top. It's a good mark taken by Mitch Jude. Just to round out our stream partners, custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes and Kimberley Accommodation Group, as Jude takes the mark.
He's been busy. Looks like he's been following Lockie Michael around this the start of the first quarter, but ended up at the back end, found a vital touch off the stoppage and backed up and got it again.
They go over the top, come off the chest, and manages to 45-degree off-spin its way into the back away from the boundary, keeps in play, snap around the body inside forward 50, and boundary umpire said that one went out of bounds.
Not entirely sure it did, but
I don't think it did either, but that's all right.
Strange decision to go for the double fist when you're on your forward flank and by yourself there, but Hummocks players obviously thought he was under more pressure than he was.
It was a good ball in there from the boundary umpire, as out the back, and getting the handball off was Harkness. Ball back in dispute though. Have to move it quickly, breaking his way through the tackle and popping it inside forward 50. Bodies crashing together. Michael's there underneath it, and in fact he did take the mark. So chip the ball to the outer side. So they've tried a little bit of this as the game's rolled on, Les. Just this little bit more uncontested play, not wanting to be too silly with it. We've seen Hummocks turn the ball over, trying to go inside forward 50. They're really trying to play the percentages here. As a good mark taken by Hendry, should be paid and is.
Marky's twin brother Jaden playing in the preliminary final over in Victoria in the southwestern districts for Cavendish against Coleraine.
Oh, there you go. Geez, you bring a lot of knowledge to the call, Les. Over the back.
You promise it.
That's right.
This is our man Reschke. See what he can do.
Absolutely. He's a Woodville West Torrens under-18 player as well. So, experience playing at a good level of footy as well. Off the boot, Batty's underneath this one trying to get a handball out, but he's quickly set upon. Daly ripping him to the ground, along with a teammate. So 55 metres from goal. And what really can only be described as an arm wrestle of a contest. APFL finals footy will have the lot for you over the next few weeks. Handball over the top, Yelland. Extra handball, and now Jude. He's got a bit of room to go to work. Goes over the top, and Duncan leading his way up at the footy has to wait for it to bounce. Has to beat an opponent as well. Couldn't quite control the footy. Does keep it in, but eventually trickling over in front of Luke Guy.
Yeah, good contest. He didn't want to take possession of the ball because he would just get hammered by the Balaklava defender there, Zavril. So, yeah, smart move by Duncan.
Hurl it back in once again. Harkness couldn't quite get any meaningful tap down. Only trickles right at his feet, and Noddle nearly ripping it away. So Luke Guy, am I not mistaken? I was looking at his games this season. Is he fly in, fly out?
He works up north near Roxby and plays up there every second
Yeah,
week,
I've seen he's played a couple competitions this year in the Far North Footy League. So handball out, Ruiz, Hendry, a little bit of room inside forward 50, kicks it from about 48 metres. Does it have the distance? It's cleared over the top, but it has been touched. So
if you get a chance, might get a look at that replay of Bailey Arthur's work inside on the contested ball on the forward flank here when it was at a ground level, set up that inside 50. This bit, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Brilliant work there from Bailey Arthur. Understandably one of the best players in the competition. So on the Sportal scoreboard, it's back to a 7-point margin. Obviously with such a low score, hasn't really moved too far past that market at all throughout this game early in this second quarter, and mark taken by Mitchell Jude.
This Jude boy's been busy this first half.
Yeah, this second quarter he's been really good through these first few minutes. So 1-on-1 here, Duncan. It's knocked down in front. Michael's gone with even more strapping, I think, at quarter time. I reckon he goes one more time on the bench, he'll be a mummy.
He's dead set Hannibal Lecter there.
So Ruckman to go at it once again. Harkness and Warner going at it, but couldn't quite get it to go anywhere.
How's he getting any oxygen into his
I don't know. That'd be a real tough gig, especially in the first minute of the game, having to put that on. Oh, and a big hip and shoulder coming from O'Leary Fletcher, and he's tossed down behind the play as well.
Burns didn't like the hit, and he's gone and thrown Fletcher to the ground.
I reckon it was fair, to be honest. I think it was just a hip and shoulder.
I don't think he can go and do that. I don't think he had the right to go and drag him to the ground. And
no.
It's free kick paid off the ball. Jenna's seen it, and he's paid the free kick.
So Mike, inside forward 50. Bit of a mongrel ball comes out the back of the contest. They're going to win to the footy here. Light. Probably not in the hands they wanted of their ruckman, but he does well. Moves it through Daly. Just bends it around, and it's going to fall into the lap of Michael once again. Had heat closing from behind.
He did a bit better with his inside 50 here.
Yeah, that is a nice looking drop punt. Just pops it up into space. The players will fly at it. Jumping up at it with Shane Moss. Comes out the back of the contest. And
Light with a crumb again. He's a wily veteran in playing A-grade footy for the best part of 20 years. And he's setting himself up behind the ball there and still influencing contests.
So the third behind for Balaklava on the Sportal scoreboard. Really, this game is an absolute arm wrestle. Neither team able to get too much of an advantage here at the moment. Just one goal the difference. And we'll get another stoppage here. 70 from home.
I reckon Cody Redpath on the kick in there bounced it as he left the square. I don't know why.
We got a little bit of a delay in front of us, and he did, yeah. Good pickup from you. It's not exactly necessary, but you might as well.
It's a stat, I guess. Maybe they're counting them.
Yeah, absolutely, if that's your thing.
Fox Footy counts them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, to the outer side. A little bit of a foot race at the ball. One in the end. And they'll chip the ball over the top. Couldn't quite get any mark taken there for Balaklava, but Hummocks now get the ball. Underground hand pass there from Yelland.
Yeah, real creative. That looks really good.
So inside forward 50. Balaklava do have the numbers here as it dribbles over towards. Tate Noddle, though, trying to keep it in and eventually goes over the boundary line. So
yeah, clever by Noddle, outnumbered on the flank there. So just to safety of the boundary line and get a throw in a stoppage, even numbers at the contest.
It's absolutely teeming down there, by the way. Obviously, you can't see the crowd underneath us in the club rooms as inside forward 50. Michael will retreat and use it by hand. Now McFarlane through the middle of the ground. That's a good kick. But yeah, people everywhere here. This is obviously the only APFL game going on here at the first final, as Hendry takes the mark. Such a great atmosphere.
Is he blocking the hole up there? He's going to get back. It's going to go over his head, though.
Absolutely it is. And there's a mark taken inside forward 50. It's going to be Shane Moss right in front.
Just had poor Quinn McKay under the ball there with the wind carrying it over the back, and even Lighty couldn't influence that. He was really well set up. His positioning was 101, but the kick from Hendry was to Moss's advantage. He's not much. He's not an overly tall man, but he used his body really, really well, and great overhead.
Mentioned before that he kicked 208 goals in a 2-year span in the APFL playing for Balaklava. And he puts through his first of the afternoon, the first for Balaklava on the Sportal scoreboard. That levels up the game as well. So 9 points apiece, 139 apiece, and this has been a fantastic showing from both these sides, crashing into the contest, not really giving them much. But I have been impressed so far with the ball movement of Balaklava. They seem to be a little more calmer and calculated. That
was better off the back flank there, particularly McFarlane bringing it back through the corridor, setting up the overlap run to, via Ruiz to Arthur. And then it was basically a link-up play from there. Hummocks couldn't get their hands in. But then again, conversely, the play before with Hummocks rebounding off the back flank on the outer side, linking up via hand and getting it out to the flank. Unfortunately, the kick inside 50 went to that, that 35, 40 metres out, sort of centre-half forward region, and when you're kicking into the wind, that's exactly where you don't want it in a contested situation, because that very thing happens. They can rebound it outside 50 really quickly and can hit you on the rebound from defence.
Absolutely. The flexibility that Moss coming back into the fold as well gives Balaklava. It means the likes of Miller can go back and play a bit of time down back. He's of course kicked 28 goals in the season coming into this one.
You see he's come to the wing this quarter, so he's shifted from that behind the ball position to a more of a, possibly as an extra on baller.
Just a versatile player as Michael pops one back inside forward 50. Hendry couldn't quite take the mark. It's a bit of a foot race to the ball and eventually knocked over the boundary line by James Fraser.
Yeah, good defence by Fraser. That's what you want from your big men, getting the hands on it first and then getting it to the boundary line.
They'll hurl it back in straight away. Light just rips it out of the ruck, try to get it out, falls at his feet, and quickly another stoppage.
So you've got both McFarlane and Miller off of this stoppage here by themselves. There's a player coming to Miller now. McFarlane's taken the aggressive position, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets picked up.
So ball back in dispute here. It looks as if this will be another stoppage, and is.
So it's Noddle moving across to McFarlane now, which leaves, looks like Luke Guy behind the ball, and they've set it behind the ball for this quick kick out for Balaklava, so should land in their lap if there's a quick kick out from Hummocks.
Trying to rip his way through the contest there was Verd, but...
So now McFarlane's gone even deeper into a more dangerous position and drawing players out from the stoppage.
So well set up, well drilled here from the Peckers, and handy to have someone that's involved in the fold in the reserves captain Les Pearson, of course. Special comments as Daly with a tackle. Looked as if he maybe dived in the back there for a second of Will Dixon, but they're going to call it a stoppage. So Light and Warner in the ruck up against each other, and once again going nowhere. So forward 50 stoppage pressure here for Balaklava. Seeing if they can break through one of these and find a player out the back. Quickly hacking it out though. Kovacic had to work his way down the ground just to get a clearance out. And now handball out the back, and they're able to move it through. Miller, here he is off the back of the contest, and nearly intercepted there. Nearly a mark to Bates.
Well, it should have been. He'd want to do better next time. Put that one to grass uncontested. The kick in from Miller was looking for Hendry, went over the top, and Bates had set up well. The number of players at ground level for Hummocks there, so set up well defensively.
So out the back of the contest, Arthur, he's quickly tackled by Verd.
Yep.
So
again, repeat stoppages. I mean, this is again. Now we spoke about this with Balaklava wanting to do that in the first quarter. Now, conversely, the other way around, you look at Hummocks will want repeat stoppages.
Oh, yeah, and that'll be 25. There was a bit of a clip around the ears there on Cody Redpath. So I think
batting, it was a bit silly from batting. It looked like an open sort of ruffle of sorts. It was a strange decision, though, and it's coughed the footy up.
So Kovacic in the middle of the ground, middle of Long Plains Recreation Ground for this first semi-final. Chips it out wider to Burns. And it's a good kick over the top. Trying to take the mark. It's a good mark in the end to our youngster there, Rechke. Goes inside forward 50. Pack forms. Falls down in front of the contest. And Battle quickly wrapping up in a tackle. So a forward 50 stoppage here for Hummocks. They cleared the contest well. Didn't let that pressure up the other end get on top of them, and a chance for them now.
We saw some of the class from Rechke there, aerially taking the possession of the footy and then sending it inside 50 to a really dangerous position.
So it was just hacked out the back of the contest there, through for a minor score for Hummocks Watchman, so they get the narrow 1 point lead. So on the Sportal scoreboard, it's 1-4-10 to 1-3-9. There is a bit of a breeze around, but you would think with that scoreline we'd be playing on an absolute mud pit, but we're absolutely not. It's just a hard-fought contest. Hasn't been too many skill errors or anything like that, but both
it's good old-fashioned low-scoring arm wrestles. It probably doesn't give you a lot to do on the stat sheet or the scoreboard, but the tackle count, if you're keeping them, would be through the roof.
We've got the fella behind us actually doing the scoreboard on the outer side there, and he hasn't had a real lot to do. He's just been standing behind us getting cold, I reckon.
I think I heard him snoring before.
So, yeah, beautiful spot here at the top of the club rooms and little lofted area. Actual real commentary box. It's brilliant. I feel special. Miller, a little bit of room in defensive 50. Chips the ball over the top. Leaves a bit of work to do for Battle and trickles over before he could get to it.
He changed his mind and then went with the outside of the boot. Didn't pull off the skill, but Battle was free there, so maybe not such a bad decision, just a skill execution thing.
Noddle chips it over the top, and it's a good mark just inside forward 50 here for Verd.
Yeah, he won't have the range in him from here from what we're seeing today, so he's going to be looking for a pass just to open up a leading channel.
He does drop it short into a dangerous position. Looks for, brilliant mark. Ripped down by Cody Duncan. Just led his way from the side of the pack, jumped in front, ripped it down, and a rare set shot opportunity for both these sides. He gets it from straight in front, only about 30 metres. He's been a prolific goal scorer. He was one of only 3 players in the APFL to actually be a Central Zone representative as well. Of course, represented the league. 3rd in goal scoring for the season as well, with 42 goals. A brilliant player. And he pops it through. His first goal of the afternoon, the second for Hummocks, so they get a little bit of a breathing space now, if you can call it that, this very low-scoring contest, but Duncan through for his first.
Well, they've doubled the Packers' score effectively with that kick, but it looked like the obvious play. We were looking for that leading lane. The kick from Verd to Duncan's advantage was superb because it was nicely flighted, gave him a run and a jump at it, and his athleticism and his height, he's a rangy character. Yeah. He's going to be hard to go with in the air. Didn't sit on his head, let him run and have a jump, and overall, like his leap and his hands were superb. The finish equal to it.
So back in the middle, Balaklava probably need to respond, you feel. Just stay in touch in this one. His light's quickly wrapped up. There is a fair breeze starting to blow across here. So quickly hacking out as McFarlane. Didn't get too much distance on it. Michael's sitting underneath this one. Crashing through the contest was Johns. Couldn't quite hold on to it. And snapping around towards goal, but sitting in the hole here, the Eagles.
They've done that well this quarter, just setting up across half back and deep in defence, getting the numbers back and intercepting those balls inside 50.
It's a long ball up. Duncan sitting underneath this one once again. Gets punched forward and not going anywhere. McFarlane wrapping up in a tackle, as is Jason Henderson. So pretty well neutral position here on the outer side. Warner climbs up and knocks it down in front of Ruiz, and he's trying to break his way through the tackle.
Yep, so straight away from that stoppage, we saw Light bolt off to the left of screen. He set himself up behind the ball, that 60 metres, 70 metres up the ground, position 101 for a big ruckman, and if the kick comes down there, he's going to mop that up.
So we see the train go in the background as well. Over the top, waiting for the bounce. It's a little bit of a foot race to the ball. Couldn't quite get clean possession there, and Michael jumps on top of him. Dixon's out the back of this one, as is Hendry. Has to try and get a clean handball away. Couldn't get it there, and Daly intercepts. A little handball up now through Retschke. It's a good little short ball cutting off the corridor, and now they look to get to work, but his umpire said play on here.
Well, did he get the handball off? Is that what he did?
I think he did, so...
It was a strange decision. It was a strange decision to handball it to him in the first place. He ran straight into two Balaklava players, and he's been done on the ball.
Especially one of those being Bailey Arthur. You don't want to give off too much with him, but he's going to get chased down by Duncan in a brilliant tackle. Excellent pressure from... Well, first of all, it was Cooper Retschke who just slowed him up, and Duncan come off and finished the job.
It's the strangest passage of footy I've seen today.
Yeah.
Across all four grades was... both of those players, just deer in the headlights sort of situation.
Yeah.
Kick the damn thing.
Especially from Bailey Arthur. I mentioned before, 14 bests out of 16 games. If you want to include 2 league representative games that he was also named in the best players in as well. Of course, one of the other zone representatives, that's a little bit of a grub of a ball to Batty. They're good enough to move it through hands. Still not out of trouble, though. Nodder with a tackle. Gets knocked down in front. Third, and he's quickly set upon.
Yeah, good pressure from the Hummocks boys there. I understand the methodology from Balaklava, trying to bring the ball back through the corridor with the short disposals, but the Hummocks boys were switched on and shut it down. Get another stoppage.
Yeah, Jude couldn't quite break through there. So, 21 minutes gone in this second quarter.
So conversely, when we're talking about light behind the ball, it looks like Miller's sitting behind the ball now for Balaklava to try and mop out anything coming forward.
And sitting right underneath this one as well. Flying back with it was Verd, couldn't quite take the mark. Miller worried him out of it. So now just has to pump a ball up towards their half of the ground. Comes out the back, Daly's there, but they're good enough to move it through hands. Over the top and into space. Johns, no, in fact that's Arthur, stepping his way around well, popped a kick over the top and they get a set shot on goal.
It's terrific play, great poise. You can forgive him to blaze away there when he found some free space, but he's seen Ruiz and laced him out, and a high percentage shot from here.
So on that little paint, it's 25 or 30 that inner circle.
It's exactly what the groundsman wanted it to be.
Let's go with that. So 20. We'll say it's 25. Man on the mark standing just about on that line. No distance. Well, distance shouldn't be a problem. In fact, he's pulled it across through for a minor score. So not really made the most of their opportunities. Of course, it's been a bit of an arm wrestle of a contest, but 1-4. Hummocks only marginally better at 2 goals for. Makes it a 1-goal margin.
Keeps it interesting though, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it does. 16-10. So it gets knocked down in front. Dixon turns around, just hacked it inside forward 50. Ruiz couldn't quite pick it off of his feet. Batty just has a shot on goal and hits the goalpost.
Yeah,
so
didn't have much time to settle there. You just had to pull the trigger and unlucky to drive it to the post.
So inside a goal now. The game was tied a moment ago. Light couldn't quite take the mark. Miller ripping his way through. Gets it on his boot. So back inside forward 50 we go. Batty ripped in a tackle. Maybe collected high and was. So they'll get another set shot opportunity through James Batty.
Yeah, took possession of the footy and at pace. It's really hard to stop him or any player of that matter when they've got that momentum up. And unlucky to catch him high there, the Hummocks defence. But earns a set shot and a shot for the lead, crucially, late in this second term.
Haven't led in this game at all. The leading margin in this game, the top margin in this game has actually been 8 points early on. When Hummocks had the first 3 scores of the game, he has hung it out right. In fact, it maybe doesn't quite have the distance, and it is a mark's been taken here on the goal line, and is Shane Moss?
For a point, I think.
No, they are giving it to him. So Shane Moss deep in the pocket. So it was a tricky matchup there for the youngster in Cooper Retschke, up against a prolific goal scorer in Moss. He'll bend around on his right foot, puts it through.
That was on his left foot, I reckon.
No, it was on his left foot. Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah, I'm not good with my lefts and rights, mate. But no, they get their first lead of the game. Balaklava in front by 1 point, and Yeah, there you go. So forward 50 pressure. They've had plenty of stoppages inside their forward 50. Couple attempts there for Hummocks to retreat out, but it kept going back in.
It wasn't pretty. I mean, it was a set shot that dropped short ultimately. That should never have dropped short. So let's get that first and foremost. I mean, we spoke about the matchup of Moss. I think it was Reschke in that marking contest. Probably shouldn't have happened because the kick should have gone through post high, but it didn't. And ultimately, Moss, being the opportunist he is, to very clever mark and a great finish. But some reward for repeat inside 50s. It's been a bit chaotic at times. This entire first half, but 2-4 to 2-5 is probably reflective of the nature of the game. While it's close on the scoreboard, it's super close in around those stoppages. Those umpires are starting getting tired arms.
Absolutely, there will be. There's been plenty of stoppages in this one. A chance to thank our APFL partners as well, sponsoring the league and bringing you today's game. Viswater, Sports Powers, Orange Group, Sharon, Belgravia Apparel, Synergy Signs, Mango Inc., McCracken Ford, Balaklava, and the Plains Producer, as there's been a free kick paid here.
Terrific contested mark in defence there.
So they're going to go long.
Taylor was Buzz Taylor.
Out the back of the contest, and they move it through hands. Noddle. One-on-one contest here, and good marks being taken by Henry Wright.
2-1-2, open space inside 50. Can they get it to a target?
And they have.
He's still outside range here, I reckon. So he's going to be looking for a pass, or he's going to get it to the goal line. It's one of those two things.
So Verd chips it across. It's now a 2-on-2 contest, but sitting in front and taking the grab is Mitchell Jude.
He's just as far out. I don't understand. He risked a turnover there, and he was lucky that the bodywork was done by his teammate. So Burns has taken the mark, is it? I think number 3?
No, Mitchell Jude.
A terrific call.
Yep.
And he's not going to get the journey here unless he absolutely flushes this. So you've got to get your numbers on the line.
So siren sounded to end this second quarter. You can see on the scoreboard an absolute arm wrestle to put this through from 49 metres. Has the distance covered? I reckon he does, through for a minor score. So that'll level it up. 2-5 apiece on the Sportal scoreboard. 17. And we are absolutely locked away here at half-time here for filming footy. It's the APFL. Of course, it's the match of the round. It's the only match, but it's a brilliant game here at the United Footy Club Long Plains Recreation Ground. We'll be right back with the second half.
when Tim was here, Cameron, he just said...
Welcome back to Long Plains Recreation Ground. It's second half about to get underway here in what has been an absolute arm wrestle of a contest. 2-5-17 apiece between Hummocks, Watchman Eagles and Balaklava. My name's Lewis McKenna. We've had a change in commentary as well. Les Pearson's gone out. We've got a representative from the Hummocks, Watchman Eagles. We've got Dylan Stoddart. He's a committee member for the club as well, mate. Been an interesting game to watch so far.
Oh, g'day, Louis. I thought I'd come along in the third quarter knowing that the game would be a bit more, knowing where we were at, but we're nowhere near it, are we?
I don't really think either coach would really know exactly where this game is at the moment. It's been heavily contested. The umpires have probably been one of the hardest working people out there at the moment, the amount of times they've had to ball that thing up, but they do the exact same thing right now to get the third quarter underway, back in the middle. Looking to try and clear the ball out, both of these sides, but this is exactly what we've seen, just multiple players jumping on top of the pill, not letting it go anywhere. Well, goal scorers in the first half, there hasn't been too many of them. Shane Moss kicking the only 2 goals for Balaklava, both coming in that second quarter, and it was Tate Noddle and Cody Duncan with a goal apiece for Hummocks. So, really, it's a hard one, isn't it, Dylan? It's a tricky one to work out exactly where the game's... Well, it's not being won and lost at all. The scores are tied, but where it is going to be won and lost, I think Balaklava are a little bit more calculated with some of their ball movement. I think Hummocks took a little bit more risk. Didn't really pay off, but it didn't really work to their disadvantage either.
Yeah, nothing yet that's coming out, but hopefully it breaks open pretty soon.
So back in the middle, not really going anywhere, but Miller, as he has been for the first half, sitting out the back of the contest, couldn't get clean possession. Daly, the captain, wrapping him up quickly. And they're just going to dance around this centre circle for the first couple of minutes, it seems. Neither side wanting to give it up at all. Ruiz had a busy first half. Wasn't allowed to go anywhere once again. Daly...
Still not much happening here.
No, absolutely not. Daly, I reckon it'd be interesting to see how many tackles he's had in this contest. I've called him for a tackle at least 10 times, I want to say, in this one. Already a couple times early in this third quarter. So...
Is that about the 6th ball up already?
Yeah, at least the 6th ball up. It's not exactly exciting football, but it is finals football, and they finally get a clearance out, but defensive mark taken here for Hummocks. They move it out wider through Mitch Jude. He'll go long down the line, into a little bit of space and allow his forwards to work their way onto it. Sat up nicely in the end there for Kovacic. Goes inside, forward 50, kicks a little long, but sitting out the back and taking the mark is Duncan. It's that long reach, big arm span he's got.
They come up late too, don't they?
Absolutely. He'll quickly play on, turn around, snap around his body through for a goal. Third quarter gets underway here with a goal for Hummocks Watchman. He kicks his second goal of the afternoon, and in what's been such a tight arm wrestle of a game, Dylan, it's a really crucial goal.
That's a very crucial goal, and hopefully there's more of them.
Absolutely. And you're allowed to be gently biased as well. Of course, we've had a representative from Balaklava in the first half, so thanks to Les Pearson for jumping on. But brilliant goal put through from Cody Duncan. Mentioned throughout the first half, he's one of only 3 players in the competition that actually went and represented the Central Zone earlier in the year. One of those other players in Bailey Arthur out there at the moment as well. Kale Olds, the other one for Malala, represented the zone. So, of course, league representatives as well as in the Nutrient Ag Cup earlier in the year as Noddle with a handball out wide, and they look to go back towards forward 50. Yelland just slipped as he kicked it, so couldn't quite get it to go anywhere. Michael out the back, brilliant player, the captain for Balaklava. Handball over the top and has to work his way back onto the footy. Just snaps it around his body and gains a bit of possession out towards the boundary, Hendry, and he eventually knocks it over.
He's a bit of a workhorse, Lockie, isn't he?
Absolutely he is. He's so often named in the best players. 10 times in the best players through the 16 regular season games. Bailey Arthur, I mentioned before, 14 times. Just about leading the league, but this player's been really good. Archie Yelland has had plenty of the ball, just does turn it over there right on cue, but...
I think he's had about 20 kicks already.
Absolutely he has. As Dean's knocked down after he kicked it. They're going to call play on, though. So they move it out through hand to the Eagles. They see a ball across, so Mitch Jude sitting underneath this one, and they get a chance to go back inside forward 50. He just stops and looks to see if there's any leading forwards. He's going to go longer over the back. Kovacic sitting underneath this one. Couldn't quite take it. Duncan knocks it down in front. Dangerous position, but eventually rushed over by McFarlane. So they're pressuring here early, though, Hummocks. They've had a little bit more of the footy to start, and they've got a 7-point advantage.
Oh, and there's a kick there.
So, looks as if they'll turn the ball over on the outer side. Last touch, so... Little chipping ball inside. Leaves it a little short for Kovacic. Couldn't quite get clean possession, and they'll now move it through hand. Handball over the top to Batty. And the Peckers look to get to work. Has to trickle a ball up. Well intercepted there, Ruiz. Now having to dance around the contest. Michael has taken all the bandages off at half-time. And sitting underneath it is Dixon, taking a good contested mark in front of Cooper Retschke, the youngster. So Will Dixon... 40-metre ball down the line, waiting for the Flyers, and a good defensive intercept mark taken by Brandon Taylor, another league representative.
Not much has got past him today.
Goes further down the line, waiting for the leapers at this one. Gets knocked down in front. Michael takes it, but he's quickly wrapped up, not going anywhere.
Seems to have quite a tag there, Lockie.
Yeah, he has had quite a tag. We picked up on it in the first half. Been a lot of attention put into him, and understandably so. But Balaklava out the back of this contest. Bailey Arthur now going inside forward 50, trying to find someone over the back. James Batty has an open look at goal. Is he going to dribble it through? He does. Crucial goal for the Peckers. They put it through and bring it back to a 1-point ball game. 24 plays 23 on the Sportal scoreboard, and this one keeps ebbing and flowing. The third goal put through for Balaklava. It's been a hard day in front of goals for both of these sides, but he's a known goal scorer, James Batty. His first goal of the afternoon, 14 for the season now. And it'll go back into the middle. But what started quite positive there for the Eagles, and the Peckers, though, they work through the pressure.
A little bit lucky there, but Batty only 14 goals for the season.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. He surprised me, actually, writing him down throughout the week, and he's typically can convert on a couple goals a game. It spends a bit of time in the midfield as well, as Ruiz goes inside forward 50 once again for the Peckers, but they look to retreat here, the Eagles. They move it out through hand and ball out to the outer side once again through Yelland. He's most certainly had the most touches on the ground. Chipping ball up, and that's a good one. So looking for someone leading up. They're just in neutral position here at centre wing.
Doesn't look like anyone's really moving, are they?
No, he's waiting. So he goes now, leading up at the footy. McFarlane sitting underneath it, gets knocked away from him. Dixon with a tackle. McFarlane in there as well. So Verd also underneath, and on the just about on the pane of the centre square, they'll ball it up. Warner over the top, the ruckman for Balaklava, and knocks it straight down in front, but Cody Redpath could. It is supposed to die down a little bit. I think it's died a little bit since the start of the game. We saw a little bit of a breeze about through the first half. Michael out the back of the contest has to try and break through the Verd tackle, and it was a brilliant tackle by Verd, called for holding the ball. He's been handy, Brandon Verd. I've been impressed with his work.
Started on the bench, but since he's come on, he's made an impact.
Absolutely has. So, 1 point the difference. Duncan nearly ripping down the mark. Gets knocked down in front. Noddle's there. Eventually got the handball out. Got taken down after the handball, but they call play on. And that one's not going anywhere. McFarlane couldn't quite get it out for the Peckers.
Yet another stoppage.
Yeah, it's been stoppage heavy, this one. Finals footy at its best. Knocked down in front. Has to turn around and hack it out. Top of the goal square here. Dangerous position. Mark couldn't be taken. Still in a dangerous spot here, though, for the Peckers. They have to try and retreat. Cody Duncan with a tackle. That'll be holding the ball. And knocked down behind the play as well. It's a reversal.
Oh, my God.
So that is absolute coach killer for the Hummocks Watchman Eagles. He did the hard work, Cody Duncan, and they have to hand it back to Luke Guy. When such a low-scoring game, that is not what you want to see for Hummocks.
I won't comment too much.
So, it's fortunate in those positions I can be somewhat neutral. But that is frustrating. So, Michael will go long down the line. Light knocks it down in front. Michael gets ripped around, does get it onto his boot, pops it up another 20 metres. Hendry gets a few more metres onto it. Moss is underneath this one and escorts it over the boundary line to Shane Moss.
A long way from goals, isn't he?
Absolutely. Talking earlier in the first half about, I was reading into a little bit of him. He's only played the 4 games in 2025, but the sort of stuff he's done in this league in previous years. Kicked 208 goals across 2 seasons in 2018 and 2019. Breaking the ton in both years. And he's already kicked 12 goals, well, 14 goals, I should say, with the 2 I added on this afternoon. And just his 5th game of the season, carrying some injuries, I've been told, as well. So, out the back of the contest, Ruiz gets the handball out and Hendry can get to work. Take a bounce, streaming inside forward 50. Pops it around his body looking for Moss. Couldn't quite pick it up with one hand. Kovacic has worked back and saves the day. Chips back out of defensive 50 and brilliant work there by Jamie Kovacic. They're in a dangerous position. They chip it across to Yelland.
Covers up the other end of the ground.
Yeah, he's worked down a little bit throughout this one. It's well done to work out exactly when he's needed. When he's got the foot skills, you might as well put him to good use no matter what end of the ground it's at. Duncan goes flying over the top of Warner, couldn't quite pull it down. Trying to move the ball out through hand. Noddle was there, couldn't quite get it. Michael picks it up out the back of the contest and pops it on his boot. Knocked down in front, Hendry running up at the ball. And quickly wrapped up in a tackle there is Cody Redpath.
Definitely no love lost between these teams.
No, absolutely not. And I said in the first half there was more scuffles than there was scores, and that's still the case. And out the back of the contest here, it looks like Batty potentially, in fact that's not Batty, has been, Michael I think has been crashed down and hands it off to
Yelland,
Michael. Yeah, Yelland now. Plenty of touches in this one. So, of course, the first time you're calling with me, mate, I should say these thongs and the beanie in front of you will go to the best player of the game. So, one to keep an eye out for. And depending on who wins this one, I think Archie Yelland is definitely putting his hand up.
Very lucky player if they get hold of these.
Absolutely, some Archie's thongs.
Yeah, which would go to Archie Yelland.
Well, that's a really good point. I think you've absolutely put him on top of the tree with that. But we'll see how the rest of this game unfolds. Plenty of time to go in this one. In the third quarter, Light knocks it down in front and quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So, both teams have continued. They've had a fair crack. They haven't wavered at all. You see footy games in general, and definitely in the APFL this season, you get lapses of concentration. Teams will go back and kick a couple goals at a time, give themselves a look. Have not seen that at all from either of these teams. Credit to the defensive lineups with both these teams as well, just holding up. Out the back, Ruiz. Move it out through hand. Johns picks it up and gets tackled straight away. Brandon Verd, another one that's been really impressive. And it looks as if there's been a whistle blown here. So, going to James Daly. So, maybe wasn't happy with some of the conversation going on. And as this game goes on, there's going to be a few more tempers heating up, you'd think. They'll go down the line, over the back, couldn't quite get any fist on it, O'Leary Fletcher. McFarlane's there, but eventually scored it over. And there's a bit of push and shove here afterwards as well.
There's a fair bit happening off the ball there, wasn't there?
There is another free kick paid, so O'Leary Fletcher will chip it into Arthur. Comes across the ground. 2-on-1 here. Dixon sitting underneath it, nearly took the mark. Moves it out through hands, and Hendry now will chase it down. Couldn't quite get clean possession. Does now, but he's getting chased down by Duncan. They have to retreat. Back through Mitch Daniel. And Tom Michael across to Arthur. So compose themselves well, the Peckers. Bite off a kick in the corridor. Johns. Back through Arthur. Has to break his way through a tackle and does. Goes long inside forward 50. 2-on-2 contest out the back. Moss is there. And there's been a whistle blown here. Quick stoppage. Inside forward 50, about 30 from home. Warner over the top as he's done all afternoon. Verd with a handball at the back of the contest. Couldn't quite get a fist on it there, Nathan Burns. Maybe should have taken the ball instead. But back through the corridor. Working his way back onto it and moving it out, McFarlane. And the Peckers have done well to compose themselves. Johns once again has Guy out wide. And he'll go there now. In fact, it'll land in the lap of Battle. Battle with a bit of space. Inside forward 50. Waiting for the lead of Moss. Crashing through the contest. Sitting in the hole, a couple of Hummocks Watchman Eagles. And Moss, of course, carrying an injury. So to the outer side, top of the goal square now. Taking the mark, James Batty. So an opportunity here for the Peckers to take their first lead of the game.
Well, that's right. They didn't before, did they?
No, so they didn't. So, and he pops it through as easy as you like. So 24 plays 29 on the Sportal scoreboard. James Batty pops through another one, his second of the quarter. And they keep rolling on here, Balaklava. They've got their first margin, their first lead of the game, as I mentioned. And they were quite composed there, Dylan, through the middle of the ground, the way they moved the ball.
They were. There wasn't a lot of pressure there, so they got a bit of a spread going, didn't they?
And they moved it well through hands. They were able to find the open player. They chipped the ball right across. They picked the right times to be able to switch. And James Batty, you mentioned it before, you were surprised that he'd only kicked 13 goals coming into this game. Well, now at 15, he's handy player just to be able to get. So, knocked down in front.
I think last time we played him, he played in the midfield all day.
Yeah, absolutely. He can go in the midfield. As Kovacic now in the midfield as well. Dixon, where the bump, well, moved it out to Miller. Back inside, looking for Batty. Couldn't take the mark. Johns off his boot and to his advantage. Just has a clean pick up now. Batty with the fend off. Has to snap around his body towards goal as he put it through. In fact, no, it's come back in. There were plenty of cheers that it was a goal, but I don't know where the cheers are coming from. Maybe they were cheering for something else. Don't know exactly where that went. Light knocks it down in front. And that's going nowhere. Redpath wrapped up quickly. So, out the back of the contest, Dixon. Handball out the back. Now Arthur gets smothered. And close to the goals, eventually thumped over. So through for a rush behind. So now with a 1-goal lead, 24 plays 30 on the Sportal scoreboard.
Peter, 3-6 now.
So
Going for a long one.
Yeah, longer down the line. Extra handball over the top and they go back inside forward 50. They've got the free player. Mark taken by Joel Bates. So he'll have a set shot from right in front unless he can find a shorter option. But really, right in front, man on the mark stands at about 35 to 40 metres.
A goal off a Hummocks.
And I think
Add a goal to Ballard.
I think the wind has dropped out a bit now, so.
So on its way, is fading across to the left and through for a minor score. So 25 plays 30 on the Sportal scoreboard. So to the outer side. They go once again over the top and Miller's sitting in the right position to take the mark. Chips the ball through. Over the back. They keep going a little further on. And Mark taken in defence.
Buzz Taylor.
So to the outer side. High, long ball sitting underneath it and taking the grab. Kyson Shepherd handballs it off. Battle. Back inside forward 50 waiting for the leaders. Comes off hands and they're quickly able to retreat. Mackay. Handball through the corridor. Kovacic, a long ball. Wobbling its way inside forward 50. Hendry sitting out the back of this one, playing some defence now, Lockie Hendry.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's had a busy third quarter. They get a chance to go back inside once again. Open goal square, open real estate, through for a goal. Mitch Jude puts them back in front. So
Here we go. We're in front now.
that is a
I'm going to get more talkative.
that's a brilliant work there from Hummocks Watchman. They found the right space and a brilliant finish from Jude, it must be said.
Yeah,
Kicked
backed
that from
himself
about,
in.
saw the open goal square, had a crack at it. So Jude puts it through. This game, this is exactly where this game should be, 4-7-31 to 4-6-30. Really, a lot of the time when you commentate games, I commentated a game last week where Anglevale just gave away about 10 goals in the last quarter to Balaklava, and it didn't really paint the correct picture of how the game played out. This one does. This one absolutely does. There's been an arm wrestle right from the start as Ruiz out the middle. They move it out through hand. And Arthur with a bit of room to go back inside forward 50, looking for the leading player through the hands of Luke Guy. They're still with it though. They snap him around their body and a good mark taken by Dixon sitting in the hole. So he gets a set shot right in front, and maybe this game just starting to open up a little bit.
Yeah, well, it seems to be a bit more free flowing now, doesn't it?
Tired legs now. We've seen so many stoppages even to start this third quarter. You said it yourself, Dylan. There was about 6 or 7 stoppages to start this third. And late here in this quarter, starting to open up once again. So Will Dixon, also a known goal scorer, plays a lot of his time through the midfield, puts it through for a goal and puts Balaklava back in front by 5 points. So this is an ebbing and flowing contest. Of course, an elimination final. The winner to go on in 2 weeks' time and play the loser of next week's game at Hamley Bridge between the top 2 teams in Two Wells and Balaklava. And they'll want to take some much-needed form. I spoke about at the start of this one, Dylan, that Hummocks, of course, or Hummocks and Balaklava coming off losses last week in the final game of the regular season. Momentum doesn't really sit with either of these two sides, but you take a big win in such a tough contest today, they'll take a lot of confidence in.
That's right. Yes, it should go a long way to helping. Hopefully they bash the shit out of each other next week, Two Wells and Balaklava. And
yeah, that's it. So, in the middle, another stoppage. Warner knocking it down in front. Daly ripping his way through the contest. Just got pushed as he kicked it, so it's going to dribble out towards the boundary. Miller beats everyone to the footy. Tries to move it back through O'Leary Fletcher, but he was more worried about taking the bump. McFarlane, and quickly wrapped up in a tackle near the paint of 50. Inside forward 50 here for Hummocks. So, back at their feet. About 15 players or so just converging around this footy, all within 10 metres or so. It's interesting to see what kind of players are set back. I can see Archie Yelland sitting at about 20 metres off the back of this contest.
yeah, kick behind.
So, it looks as if it's gone over the boundary to be held back in. That's what the smart footballers do, Dylan. They hang off that back of the contest. They're waiting. They're judging where it'll be next. As taken out of the ruck there, the vice-captain in Harkness, but goes inside forward 50 and a mark's been taken. So, an opportunity here. I believe that's, yeah.
Left foot should do this.
So, Kovacic will have an opportunity to pop one through. Leading goal scorer in the competition. I mentioned in the first half that he's actually kicked a goal in every single game this year.
Yeah, right.
So he's been a really important player for them and a brilliant player in this competition. He shows us why there.
It's a very good kick.
With his first goal of the game. I was really worried I'd actually put the jinx on him there, to be entirely honest with you. It's not the right time to bring up a stat like that, but he's done it. He's done it well, and he's popped it through for a goal. An important one that actually gives them back the margin once again. So that margin has ebbed and flowed in this contest. It's 5-7-37 to 5-6-36, and he's a brilliant player.
He certainly is. I do believe it. He's joined the police force and moving to Port Augusta next year.
Oh, there you go. So that's...
So I shouldn't have announced that, but it's starting playing for us, by the way.
Absolutely. Well, he's hopefully got a bit of work to do for Hummocks, as we see a blood rule here as well. Coming off the ground is Bo Warner, absolutely pouring out from the nose. So, over his...
So Light went into the ruck then, so the two changes both ruckmen.
So, I thought Hendry was required there for a moment, but it looks as if they're going to send Luke Guy in instead to take the ruck, and Lorenzo Johns comes on to get up in the forward line. So Sean Light will be pretty happy with a little bit of a height advantage here in the ruck to start this one out.
And someone closer to his age, I believe.
Absolutely. So light. Neither ruckman able really to get a hand on it at the end, and it goes nowhere, so they'll have to reset. So light uses his body well, knocks it down in front, and couldn't quite get it anywhere. Tate Noddle. So we'll reset once again. This stoppage game continues. In an arm wrestle here at Long Plains. Trying to get out the back of the contest go the Peckers, but he's there once again, Yelland. And sitting underneath the contest there is Jack Tiller. Not going anywhere. So it's been a brilliant year for Hummocks. We'll get a chance to talk about it as these stoppages roll on. Of course, celebrating 30 years as Hummocks Watchman.
Yeah.
You've had a brilliant season as well. I see some of the merch getting around as well, some of the jackets. It's just some of the best merch going around in the Adelaide Plains Footy League.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. We changed the Guernseys this year as well, which
Yep.
has been a very popular
Yeah, they look
choice to do, and all the players are keeping them. We changed it across all grades as well.
absolutely.
So all the juniors got to keep all theirs last week.
It's absolutely a striking colour. I mean, it is definitely not a navy. I was about to say I'm not exactly a Crows fan, so I don't like to say I like the colours, but I not that there is any teal, black and white getting around the APFL, but
That's fine.
I think that's fine by most people, to be honest. But it'll be hurled back in.
Next year.
So ruckman to go at it once again, and he gets an advantage here, light in the ruck, with a bit of a height advantage over Luke Guy, and the initial contact was high. It's been paid a free kick instead to the Peckers, so they'll look for an option here, chance to go back inside forward 50. Long ball, it's not exactly a good kick, it's wobbling its way in there, and intercept mark taken by Brandon Taylor.
Very strong back there, Buzz Taylor.
Yeah, you said before that not much has got past him, and you're probably right. Anything that's gone near his airspace, he's absolutely dominated. They go long down the line, and there's a siren to bring us to the end of this third quarter. It was all tied up at half-time. Hasn't really moved too far. It's Hummocks Watchman with a 1 point advantage, 5-7-37 to 5-6-36 on the Sportal scoreboard. That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. We have a big fourth quarter coming right up. The winner of this one will stay alive. The loser will go home. Stay with us and we'll be right back for all the fourth quarter action. Well, here we go, folks. Back at Long Plains Recreation Ground. It's, of course, the first semi-final. It's an elimination final. The loser of this game will be packing their bags and going home. 4 will become 3 in the APFL final series. My name's Lewis McKenna. I'm joined by Dylan Stoddart, who's a member there at Hummocks Watchman. Of course, you mentioned that you're involved with the sponsors as well, so in this fourth quarter, don't be afraid to give it a plug as well at some point.
Rising Sun Hotel, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Brilliant. So you've got to get around there as well. I actually think I've seen on the socials they're heading back there later today as well after this game.
Absolutely. Celebrating.
I hope it's a celebratory one for your sake as well. So back in the middle, this is as good as it gets. Finals footy, 1 point the difference. Full stakes here at the moment. The United Footy Club, Long Plains Recreation Oval. And as every quarter has started, this ball has gone about 5 metres and will be hurled back up once again. And we get another blood rule. So it's going to be Beau Warner once again by the looks of it. He went off last quarter with blood. And
stay off now, I think.
It doesn't look to be in a good way either. In fact, lucky my binoculars are good enough, I can see it absolutely pouring out of him. So he needs to go off. He looks to be a bit of discomfort as well. So I'll have to play around with the ruck situation here. Poor Luke Guy has to make his way back from the back line again.
He's not rushing off.
No, he looks to be incredibly sore. I think obviously if he runs off, then he'll get the blood running a bit faster, and that means it'll pour out a bit quicker. But he does jog off now.
I don't know if the mics can pick up the crowd sound, but there's abuse there.
Wanted him to hurry up. Good thing there's a bit of stoppage time here in the A grade. So they come out the back of the contest here, the Eagles. Pop it on their boot and to the pain of 50. Ooh. And it gets intercepted. Lockie Hendry in defence playing the swingman role here at the moment. Just a little chipping ball over the top. Trying to find Arthur. Leaves it a little long. Yellen's there. Scorts it over the boundary line. So you see there on the scoreboard exactly how close this game has been. Far takes another defensive mark. They go long down the line. Guy couldn't take the mark. Falling down in front. They're going to move it out through hands. Comes over the back, Jude with a handball. And they've worked their way through the traffic well. If they can try and pick up the ball through Noddle, they do well. Inside forward 50, looking for the leading forward. Sitting underneath it, couldn't quite take the mark, but they've still got the numbers. Kovacic snapping around his body. Hendry there to save the day. Keeps it in and gets knocked over the boundary line by Duncan. They're still with it here, the Eagles. They go back inside forward 50, looking for the leapers. Duncan was there, was intercepted by his teammate. Kovacic roving it and putting it through the big sticks. Through for a goal. Hummocks Watchman just kept pumping it inside their forward 50, and they reap the rewards. They now go up by 7 points.
Good tap there from Cody Duncan down to Kovacic.
Absolutely it was. We've got a little bit of a delayed replay in front of us. You see about 20-second delay. He got knocked down in front. It was a brilliant rove there from Kovacic. He pops through a goal. So he's done excellent work. He's actually kicked the last 2 goals of this game as well. So he stood up where it's mattered.
Oh, yeah, that's right too.
So now up by 7 points. So really almost as far as this lead has got. In fact, the game high margin is 8 points early on in the second quarter. Was the last time it got out to that margin. So back in the middle once again. Jude's wrapped up in a tackle. Not allowed to go anywhere through Chad Ruiz, the vice-captain for Balaklava. Nearly fell on his head. The captain there for Hummocks underneath the contest is Daly, and trying to rip his way through was Michael. So we'll go again. Knocked it out the back. Michael pops it on his boot inside forward 50. Trundling ball here. Batty tries to break through one tackle and does. Gets wrapped up quickly by the youngster. Maybe should have been called holding the ball. Moves out wider. Ruiz beats everyone to the ball. Handballs it into the corridor. Michael, but he was under a lot of pressure. Gets chased down. Went to ground. Eventually got the handball out. Jude couldn't collect it. They move it out wider. Yelland snaps around his body. This ball's still in dispute here. Kovacic, handball the corridor. Noddle breaks well through the tackle. On his right foot, going towards forward 50. Duncan out the back. Marks it about 48 metres out. Looks to go quickly over the top, trying to find his teammate. Drew a bit of contact. The two number 9s going at it, and Jaden Jude will get a set shot here, pretty well straight in front, about 40 metres out.
Very good kick, Jaden.
I've been really impressed. Cody Duncan, you've seen him involved in that last goal there, going to Kovacic, brought it to ground, and that kick there across, brilliant vision to see his teammate in space. So Jude on his way in, he's got the distance covered, pops it through for a goal. Incredibly crucial, because that now gives them their biggest lead of the game, now out by 13 points.
That's it. Duncan has been really good about like coming up right up the ground and putting that pressure on.
Absolutely has. So 49 now, plays 36. They've got the jump on them here in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time left in this one, it must be said, but on the Sportal scoreboard, out to a 13-point margin. Jude converts on a goal. So goal scorers in this one so far, Kovacic with 2, kicked his second earlier. Cody Duncan with 2. Mitch Jude with 1, Jaden Jude with 1, Tate Noddle with 1 for the Eagles. As we'll go over Balaklavas in a moment. Slinging motion there from Lockie Michael in the middle. No free kick paid, and they'll go again. Goal kickers for Balaklava, Shane Moss with 2, James Batty with 2, and the solitary goal for Will Dixon to round them out. So they'll need a couple more. Warner's been taped up and had a jumper change as well. Daly chips the ball out wide, and mark's been taken by Hugh Walker. It's been a solid start, though, for the Eagles to start this fourth. It'll calm your nerves a little bit.
Yeah, it looks much better.
So,
well, we won't get too excited.
O'Leary Fletcher maybe should have been called for a legal disposal there. Didn't get a shoe on it. Umpire has been fairly lenient all day, so as long as he's consistent and has been there, as there's been a free kick here paid. In fact, it's a mark, so a little longer down. And, yeah, it was a bit of a grub of a kick back into the lap of Bailey Arthur. Of course, one of those league representatives and zone representatives in the APFL. 1 of 3. Moves it out through Mitchell. Miller. Now back inside forward 50, and that wasn't a good kick either. So straight to Harkness as they retreat.
Better kick that time.
So Archie Yelland, I've called his name a lot, and every single time he has not had his mouth guard actually in his mouth.
Yeah, he actually just chews on it.
Yeah, I can see that. Cameras might not be able to quite pick it up, but on the binoculars, he's always got it hanging out the side of his mouth. But hey, it works for him. He's had about 35 touches, so centre wing now. They'll hurl it back in. The stakes are high in this one. They get the winner of this one gets a week off. They go into the preliminary final against the loser of next week's game. We'll, of course, cover that on Filming Footy. It'll be 2 Wells and Malala. That game has just about been locked away for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, another one centre wing.
Getting later on the whistle there, the umpire.
Arthur, handball over the top. Dixon gets crunched in a tackle coming through. And the beneficiary here are the Eagles out the back, but McFarlane takes the mark. I think there was a free kick paid as well, so should have just been paid advantage, but they'll find an option here, the Packers, and it looks as if there's still a dispute as to what's going on. A downfield free kick, so Logan Olsen will chip it out wide. Hendry waits for the bounce, has to try and break through a Walker tackle. Did well. In fact, Duncan wraps him up in a tackle.
Apparently that's not holding the ball.
Yeah, did have it for a while. Opted not to take the ball as well when it bounced in front of him. So the ruckman go at it. Arthur slipping over, trying to crack through the contest there is Tiller. In fact, that was Mitch Daniel.
Plenty of pressure still out there.
Absolutely there is. They're not giving up here, Balaklava. Dixon now got one arm trapped and has to just hold on to it. So they'll hurl it back up once again. This middle of the ground here has absolutely copped a beating from these midfields, but they do crack out now. Out the back of the contest, Yelland just loses his feet. They're there to try and retreat, though. Ruiz crashing through the contest. About 55 from home. Arthur inside forward 50, top of the goal square, and just dribbles out behind. So just went over. I don't think that's registered a score at all. It hasn't. So out near the Rising Sun Hotel signage there behind the goals.
Yeah, we're everywhere, aren't we?
Yeah, we're able to plug you whenever we possibly can, mate. So a little further down the line. And McFarlane quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So just inside the paint of 50 here. The next goal crucial for Balaklava. Warner knocks it down in front. Noddle couldn't quite get clean possession. Lights there around it. As is Burns, out near the boundary, hacking ball inside the corridor. Had a lot of space there and he just pops it on the boot. Kovacic sitting underneath it. Did well on the second attempt to corral it. Pops it over to a one-on-one contest out the back here. Juggling to try and take the mark. Couldn't quite hold on to it, Brody Hocking. And it's going to be ball back up once again.
3 touches at him up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess under 10s you could call it, I guess. So, well light just to hold his body up. And so you mentioned before that Sean Light is one of the older blokes getting around. Do you know exactly how old he might be?
39, I believe.
Oh, he's doing all right out there, Sean Light. So
Started the year just playing twos, but moved back up into the A grade.
well, I've called a lot of Masters footy actually throughout the year, and he would run rings around those blokes, I reckon. So he's doing well here in the A grade, and it's been the free kick paid here. Mitchell Jude. They're holding up in the pressure here, Hummocks. Had a lot of heat thrown at him in the last few minutes from the Peckers and have not allowed any goals to come through. O'Leary Fletcher sitting underneath this one. Comes out the back of the contest. They're able to move it out through hand. Hugh Walker. A ball inside forward 50. Hendry has to quickly rush a handball out. Yelland is underneath this one. Couldn't take it. Guy couldn't either. And trying to rip through. Jaden Jude now, inside forward 50. Off the boot, yeah, Yellen inside and a defensive mark taken by Luke Guy.
Looked a little bit like a soccer player there, Isaac Rankin.
Yeah, absolutely. So further down the line, contest, Ruiz sitting underneath it, as is Battle, and he's quickly wrapped up. So we'll ball it up once more. High octane footy. He went a bit early there in the ruck, did Warner. There's been a free kick paid, so Light, fair enough, he did jump way too early. So Sean Light will bomb it inside forward 50. Wait for the Flyers to do the work. Crashing across the contest there was Hendry. He'll get it back. Has to try and break through a tackle. Got the handball away. Arthur's there, but beating him to the footy was Retschke, the youngster, and called for a legal disposal.
Hendry seems to know where to be, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been all over it in this second half. He's actually one of their leading goal scorers, 19 goals for the season. He's just the ultimate swing man, can do a bit of both. Batty can also do a bit of both, plays up forward and in the midfield as well and puts it up towards their forward 50 and gets knocked down. So
tired legs out there now.
Absolutely it is. Composure as Warner gets his timing right this time. Tries to break through and should be called holding the ball. He was. Tiller just stood up in the tackle. And they'll have to hand the ball back. Good work there. And he got called for the throw a moment ago, Retschke, but well done to have a second crack at it. He's a Woodville West Torrens under-18 player this season.
Yeah, he's been very handy to come up.
Absolutely.
Not getting a run down there.
Well, I was looking at some of his work. He actually hasn't played an A-grade game since round 4, so to be handed the Guernsey and given a lot of faith, he's actually played quite a good game.
Well, he was pretty handy in the B grade last week.
So over the top, and they'll go back inside forward 50 through Arthur. Yellen's in front of this contest. Out the back, Bailey, bit of space now. Dixon rolling in towards goal. And fades across through for a minor score. So their first score of the quarter it must be said, for Balaklava. But they have made it an interesting one. Just 2 goals the margin now.
Handy point, you reckon?
Could be. Of course, we do have extra time. It was looking like it could have happened during the reserves game before Anglevale just blew the result out a little further. It was tied up for much of that game as Retschke now wrapped up in a tackle, dropped it, but Jude will move it back. Harkness, a little kick over the top. Pops it down in front, and Ruiz breaks his way through the tackle. Michael, they work together, the captain and the vice-captain. Over the top, Dixon couldn't take the mark. Verd moves it out through hands. And they're now trying to break their way through. Caught high. Joel Bates did well. And a bit of push and shove after this one as well. Lorenzo Johns comes crashing into one of the better players on the field today in Yelland. So 15 minutes gone in this one. You expect about 10 to 12 minutes left. They need to convert on 2 goals at least. Balaklava. What's been an arm wrestle of a contest, but this 4th quarter, they come out hot, the Eagles, knocking it down in front, light.
Roving his own ball.
A 39-year-old getting to work.
Toddy Goldstein.
Oh, well, that's it.
Toddy Goldstein.
He probably is. Goldstein waiting for Draper's signature to see if he can hang him up or not, I'm pretty sure. As Arthur's tackled to the ground, brilliant tackle. Fantastic work by Noddle. And he chips the ball across. So can they try and put almost would be nearly a sealer on this if they can convert on a goal. Yellen going inside forward 50, waiting for the leaders. Duncan's there. It's a 2-on-2 contest. Stops, props, composes himself, pops a ball inside forward 50. Michael's there as his guy. Just has to try and hit a target and does. Crucial kick. Just went the required distance to Lorenzo Johns. So he'll compose himself over the top to Michael. They try to bite off a risky kick towards the corridor. Daly crashing through. Michael now moves it by hand. They go through the corridor once again. Out the back. Handball over the top. Gets intercepted well by Brandon Taylor. He's been really good out of the back line. Trying to break through Duncan. Maybe held on to, but umpire says play on. Noddle's there. Johns. And they're going to have a bit of a scrap after this one by the looks of it as well. Lorenzo Johns has been in the thick of it the last couple of minutes. Not so much with the footy, but a few jumper punches. So they're going to play on. There's about 5 or 6 players on the ground. There's wrestling match featuring a little bit of footy. Trying to crash through. O'Leary Fletcher tackled after he got rid of it. Maybe should have been a free kick, but Kovacic asking the question, should this be called holding the ball? And he's been paid. Hendry didn't make the attempt to get it out, and this is in the wrong hands if you're Balaklava. Really, you'd think, and maybe you're the wrong person to ask because you probably think that anything's possible from this point, but if he's able to put this through...
Especially, he does like these pockets, so I don't know. Well, he likes all these shots.
He kicked one from here earlier, at the opposite end of the ground, but same sort of angle.
And kicked the 2 at Hamley Bridge last week from that pocket, probably a bit tighter, so...
Absolutely, Jamie Kovacic. 2 goals. The leading goal scorer in the APFL to try and put it out to a 3-goal lead. Puts it close to the goal line. Gets thumped over. There has been a whistle blown. And it's going to be a free kick to the Packers. So no score registered. So they'll chip it across. Hendry. Get away with it there, you feel, the Packers. Take 3 bounces in about 5 steps. And cuts off a dangerous ball over the top. Harkness. Go a little wider out. Kovacic working his way onto the footy. Stays with it. Handball over the top. Have to run their way onto the footy. They'll hack it off the ground inside forward 50. Duncan crashing through. O'Leary Fletcher will retreat. It's going to go out of bounds on the full. Hugh Walker will get the free. Balaklava are coming, but they are really holding up well here, Hummocks. They are really composed with some of their ball movement, I've found. Haven't been able to get the rewards inside forward 50, but they're having a fair crack at it.
Obviously, they've got the Hendry down there.
Hendry's been good, but...
Michael seems to be going down there and getting plenty of kicks.
As he does every week. So, there is time on in this game, so they're...
I think
the ball has gone under a car. So, fortunately there is time on. There won't be too many issues in regards to the time on the clock. We've had just under 20 minutes gone in this fourth quarter. 2 goals the difference on the Sportal scoreboard. So it wasn't exactly the best purchase on the kick. Johns was sitting underneath it, but couldn't take the mark. Quickly getting tackled, though, underneath Bates. Not allowed to go anywhere by Jason Henderson. Still here inside forward 50 for the Eagles.
Is there any records on how many ball-ups have been in the game?
It'd have to be this one, right? I don't know how many times. It's a key role of commentary to try and diversify the way you say things. And you're supposed to have 100 ways of saying ball up and 100 ways of saying goal. Well, I've run out. I don't have anything left. I don't have anything left in my commentary thesaurus to be able to bring out. Warner knocks it down in front.
Start doing stats on it.
That's it. Retschke chasing it to the boundary and it'll trickle back over. So still a decent amount of time left in this one, but the fact they have to kick at least 3 scores, Balaklava would be on their minds, especially in the coaching box. They need to move.
It can be done, I think.
Absolutely can be. But there has been a free kick paid here to Hummocks. So I've been impressed with the fourth quarter of Hugh Walker. Done some good things. Chips it out wide, and Retschke as well, been busy.
Hugh was controversially rubbed out after the last game that we played together.
There we go. So back in the forward 50, looking for the leading player. Gets knocked. 49-38 on the Sportal scoreboard. A low-scoring contest here. So deep in enemy territory here, the Eagles. How they set up for this one is crucial. They go long down the line. Light out the back of the contest, couldn't quite take the mark. Underneath that once again was Yelland and Duncan. Running onto it, Noddle, but he couldn't quite get it there. So should be a free kick to the Peckers. Yeah, it was. So get a chance to go back inside forward 50, but it was a good smother. Noddle breaks through a couple tackles as well, and a crucial turnover. Cuts the ball off through the corridor, and there's been a free kick behind play here as well. So he's done everything right there, Tate Noddle. So whether this will be called back, I believe they've actually... There's a bit of push and shove. He's actually pointed the other way, so I think he's reversed the free kick. Arthur. So now the Peckers in the middle of the ground at Long Plains Recreation. They'll go inside forward 50 again. And they find a chest. McFarlane leading his way up at the footy. And this a crucial kick. Yeah, absolutely it was. So he looks to waste no time. Jason McFarlane, 14 goals on the season. That looks as straight as a diamond is. That is a important goal for the Balaklava Peckers. 49 plays 44 on the Sportal scoreboard. He's popped through a really important goal. The 6th for Balaklava, and you said it before, they needed 3 scores or 2.
Yeah, undisciplined play there by Hummocks somewhere. I don't know what happened. But
well, it looked like right across the other side of the centre square, there was a free kick paid to Hummocks, and not for the first time this game, it was reversed, because there was a bit of push and shove afterwards, players getting knocked to the ground, and they had an opportunity. I think it would have been paid downfield to Hummocks to go inside forward 50, but just like that, 1 minute later, Balaklava's kicked a goal, and we've now got a 1-score game. Warner knocks it down in front. The Peckers are hunting here, but they got a chance to go inside forward 50. Kovacic playing out of the middle of the ground, goes inside. Duncan's in this contest against Hendry. It's been one to watch here in the fourth quarter. Hummocks have the numbers here. Verd gets a handball away. Hendry crashing through the contest, close to the boundary line, over the top Michael, and runs out of real estate. So should be a free kick here to Hummocks. The handball went straight over the boundary line. They paid it a moment ago. And they're having a chat, the umpires. So they're actually going to say they're going to ball it in. It's unlucky there for Hummocks. They did just pay one 2 minutes ago going the other way for a handball over the boundary line. But the ruckman will go at it. Knocked down at the back of the contest. Gets smothered. It's going to trickle towards the boundary. Verd will snap around on his left boot. Comes out the back. Arthur's sitting underneath this one. Did well to intercept there. And they'll now snap around to the centre of the ground. Light palms it down in front. Oh, big tackle. Will Dixon nearly ripped his head off. It's, as you mentioned before, it's hard for the ruckman to get down. It's actually probably the tallest player and the shortest player on the ground getting mixed up there. So incredibly hard for Sean Light. But both players absolutely cracking in. Will Dixon is a tough player. Just stood straight up. So back inside forward 50. Batty couldn't quite take the mark on the pain of the arc here, and it'll be ball back up. So this is grandstand footy.
They've all been tough today, these players, haven't they? There hasn't been anyone going off after these knocks.
Absolutely, they're standing up in it. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is the end of an elimination final you do not want to miss. One kick in it. So, on the outer side, neutral position, it'll be ball back up once again. And tell you what, for an older fella, sorry, Dylan, but for an older fella, Sean Light cracks in, doesn't he?
He certainly is. It was
It's a bit of a foot race to the ball. And there's the final siren. They've done it, Hummocks. They get up by 5 points. The Peckers close hard there in the last quarter. But 7-7-49 to 6-8-44. They are absolutely pumped up. They got it done. They get the win.
bit of passion there, boys.
Absolutely. So it was a brilliant end to that one. Thank you so much for joining me as well, Dylan. It was absolutely fantastic having you up here. A brilliant finish for your boys.
That was very good, very good. A bit of a foot race there. They could have set that up to. Anyway, regardless, it didn't happen.
So you make it through 2 weeks' time. Brilliant contest between these two sides. 2 weeks' time, you'll play the loser of next week's game between Two Wells and Malala. So that'll be one to watch. Absolutely important fixture between those two. But Balaklava's season comes to an end. They got to hold their heads high after this. I know it's hard when your season is over, but they cracked in all day. Both teams cracked in. There was, I think you said it a minute ago, not a single player really had a bad game, went off with anything. They were really tough, all 46 players out there.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like there's any injuries from it.
No, a few blood noses, but that's about it. We'll wrap up the commentary. We've got to go down and find our player of the game. We'll interview them, present them with some Archie songs. But thank you so much, Dylan, for coming up with us and having a chat. And brilliant. We're going to go get our player of the game, Archie songs.
Thanks, mate.
G'day footy fans, we're back here at Long Plains Recreation Ground. It was the first semi-final. Brandon Taylor, you're our player of the game, mate. I think it was fitting in a game that was so low scoring, high contested that a defender won it, mate.
Yeah, it's always a battle between Balak over the last probably ever since I've been playing footy. They're a great club, good country club. This team means everything to me. Well, we haven't played finals since 2019. And we're just a young group that's really started to galvanise. I reckon this will really set us going through the final series. So.
Absolutely, it was a really tight, close game. The margin didn't extend beyond 10 points really at all. I think just once it got out to that point. Balaklava closed though. They gave you a bit of a scare late.
Yeah, definitely a scare. You can't count them out with the firepower they got through the middle. Bailey Arthur, Lockie, and then they got players all over the ground. It's just a testament, you know. They didn't start off all that well this year, but they keep battling, and it's a good contest between the two clubs. I love it, really love it.
Absolutely, it was a brilliant match for you guys. You guys get the week off. You obviously can maybe go and watch the game next week, and a chance in a prelim final to get into a grand final.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you play footy for, and we'll really go away and work on things we need to, and we'll look forward to taking Muller, and it'll be a great contest.
Absolutely fantastic. Brandon Taylor, the player of the game, he was brilliant. He gets a pair of Archie's thongs as well, a beanie custom by ORTC, so thank you very much, mate. Brilliant stuff. We'll be back next week, of course. It was a fantastic match here, finals footy for the APFL. We've got another game next week, Two Wells versus Malala. We'll be on filming footy once again, one of our many games that we show on here. So come back next week for an important game at Hamley Bridge. Thanks for footy fans. We'll see you later.